Hello FPL managers, welcome back to the channel. We're slowly heading towards Game Week 29, which is another double game week we've got to cover. There are teams like Liverpool, Spurs and Newcastle doubling up. Of course there are other teams too. I'll start with how my team looks for now, and I'll talk about my transfer plans for Game Week 29. And after that we'll look at some of the possible transfers that most managers are considering for Game Week 29. And at the end there is an initial free hit draft for Game Week 30 that I've prepared that I'll be talking about. Meanwhile, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do that and help me reach 500 subs sooner. With that being said, let's kick things off. So as the double game week 28 goes on, this is where my team stands for 29. A lot of flags I have to deal with this week. James Maddison is 50%, but Rogers told us that he'll be available for 29. Moreover, Leicester still has 3 games to be rescheduled, so I'm more focusing on keeping Maddison. Vardy is another option one might consider for the doubles whenever they are scheduled. Bowen is another questionable player in my side, but he is still 75% and there are chances that he will be available. Even if he misses the game versus Villa, I personally think I can use him for these 3 fixtures before transferring him out. He certainly is creating chances and has been involved in the last 2-3 games too. Webster and Digne are the ones I'm considering to get rid of sooner. Digne hasn't been beneficial for me since the time I brought him in, and Webster will be out for a while. So the most sensible option for now is to get in Van Dijk and transfer out Digne. There is a slight chance I might consider Kulusevski for Ward-Prowse, who has been another disappointment. And while saying that, I apologize to my friend FPL Scotty, who is a Ward-Prowse lover. With Van Dijk coming in, let's look at how my team will look like for Game Week 29. Now before I start talking about my team, a huge shout out to the FPL Way for this amazing feature. You can now plan your transfers and save them as well. This can give you a huge advantage in your mini leagues as you will be planning ahead, and that too with ease. I will be leaving the link to the planner below so you guys can check it out. Now looking at the team, De Gea will start in goal versus Spurs, and I won't lie, things are not looking pretty good for United. In form, Kane and Son can be as destructive as KDB and Mahrez were. But on the contrary, De Gea will be making a lot of saves, so that is something positive from having him at the back. The back 4 is full powerhouse of the premium defenders, a double up of Liverpool at the back, and both of them have the ability to register attacking returns. Ta is among the top assisters as well, as Van Dijk in the previous fixtures has turned out to be a great threat on the headers. Cancelo on the other hand looks a bit out of form, but at the very least he might return a clean sheet. Chelsea is looking pretty solid too, and Rudiger is their main man. The probability of him returning a clean sheet is also pretty high. Moving on to the midfield, Ward-Prowse and Rafinha are to start, whereas I have benched Maddison and Bowen, who are questionable for the game. Mo Salah has a double, so it is easier to place the armband on him. And at last the 3 forwards are visible. Weghorst and Watkins are the 2 I'm expecting some points from, whereas I'm really hopeless about Dennis now. Although Southampton did concede versus Villa, but I'm pretty sure they'd keep a clean sheet versus Watford, or it'll be Musa Sissoko or Cucho Hernandez scoring. So this is how I am currently lining up for Game Week 29. As always, I'll upload the final team on Twitter an hour before the deadline. Now let's talk about the transfer targets that people are considering for the fixtures ahead. First one is Harry Kane, and boy oh boy, the way he has made a return, the striker currently looks unstoppable and has taken his tally of goals to 10 this season. He has some nice fixtures coming up and he will be playing in Game Week 30, so this is one transfer that can pay you off well for the rest of the season. Even the doubles in Game Week 29 are fascinating for him. Now moving on to the next one, we've got Doherty, who is being discussed due to his attacking returns versus Everton, where he turned into a prime Dani Alves and most managers started transferring him in, just to avoid the price change. I personally am waiting to see how this will work out with Emerson Royal, and on one bad game will Doherty be benched again. We saw in Wolves Doherty always had the ability to provide attacking returns, so if he is a guaranteed starter for Spurs, without a doubt he is one pick to capitalize upon. Now moving on to next one, we've got Saka, who is among the top transfers this week as Arsenal now doubles in Game Week 29. He is the best and slightly more nailed on option than the other midfielders. At 6.5 million, he has most points in that Arsenal midfield. Except for Liverpool in Game Week 29, Arsenal has promising games till 38 and there are still 2 fixtures yet to be rescheduled. Another Spurs player at the end, and this time it's Kulusevski who has been getting those attacking returns. As I mentioned in the case of Harry Kane, Spurs have good fixtures in the longer run, and at 6.1 million, we're getting a starter who has registered 2 goals and 2 clean sheets in a really short while. If you do not have options to go for and are short on budget, Kulusevski can definitely be considered. So this is it for the transfer targets. Now let's talk about the initial free hit draft for Game Week 30. So looking at the spreadsheet, this is initially what I have. As things stand, I'm more leaning towards the Leicester triple up. Brentford are not a very high scoring side and there are chances that Leicester might keep a clean sheet too. Vardy and Madison returned in top form, and we all saw what they did to Burnley from the bench. This is one juicy fixture we all can target. Now along with the Leicester triple up, I am tripling up on Spurs too, as they are in top form. Not much on the bench, as this is a free hit, and we will return back to the original teams once the game week 30 ends. I've left Cody on the bench, as I still have to see Leeds play versus Norwich, and then it will be easier to conclude if I do a Wolves double up or not. Concluding the video, a huge shout out to my friend Jay, who did a stream with AZ yesterday. You can definitely have a look at it for more insights on your transfer targets. So this is it from my side for now. Thank you for watching. I'll be back sooner.